Hi, this is Sybarite, and today I'll be showing you how I painted my Celestial Vindicators. This is an older one, which was painted emerald, if I remember correctly. But today I want to go for a little bit sharper looking paint job. So for this part I used an airbrush. Just to save time while I have an airbrush, so I just use it. But you can paint it by hand, it's fine. I use air paints now because they're thinner and you don't have to spend too much time thinning them down. But you might need to use 2 or 3 coats. Now is the like a Zenithal highlight. Because I use an airbrush, I understand some of you don't use airbrushes, so you can actually lightly dry brush from the top going down, and that should do the trick, to be honest. So just lightly dry brush Sybarite Green from where the light would be hitting it. Okay, so for this part we're using Gauss Green. We're picking out the lightest areas, so the areas where the sun or the light source would be hitting the armour. My light is coming from the front, a bit higher in the sky, where the sun usually is, yeah. And so I focus on the abs first, because that's the easiest part to do. And then I kind of edge highlight the pectoral muscles, and I glaze a bit more Gauss Blaster over the pectorals just to lighten it up a bit more. For this one you can just look at some references of armor in the sunlight, or you can shine a bright light over your model and then take a photo, and then you'll see where the light is strongest. So the paint dries pretty quick, and because my air conditioner's on, it dries even faster. So now I'm just edge highlighting again. It's still pretty thin, but it's a bit thicker, I'd say, just to make the outlines more prominent. And as you can see, it's slowly starting to have some depth to it. So now I've mixed Gauss Green with Sybarite Green to darken it down, like a midtone. and I'm just painting the this is not glazing now, this is just normally thin paint, and I'm just going over the edges, edge highlighting where I want the strongest edges to be. Yeah, so as you can see now, the pectoral and the abs are more defined. Back to Lupercal Green. I use this to glaze and use as like a shade or an ink, whatever, to shade the recesses between the abs, between the chest, and I also now, as you can see, I'm glazing the shadows. So wherever you see shadows on the model, I would glaze over that area with thin diluted Lupercal Green. And it will slowly build up as well. Look at, and as you can see, the brush strokes. I'm a bit. I'm. How to say? I'm following one direction, but then the way the paint flows, I just kind of go with it. You know, you're basically pushing paint around to the area you want to, you know, add the depth and shadow. You just gotta really feel it, to be honest. So I should be doing the back, but for me I'm quite impatient. So I'm painting the gold areas now with Runelord Brass, just because I'm really excited to see how it looks with the NMM armor with the gold frame, so it can you know, frame it better, should we say. I use frame twice there. So this is the areas I painted Runelord Brass. So a bit of a 360 for you. So now I use a thin down contrast paint, Terradon turquoise. It's one of my favorite paints when painting an emerald model as like a shade, or to glaze the darkest recesses or the darkest areas. And you can see now it's really popped, made the muscles pop out. And I also shaded in the areas between the gold trim, just to add a bit more depth. And here I am, I'm glazing over the Lupercal Green to further intensify the shadow. So now I'm doing the back, but if you're patient, or more patient than me, you can just do this before you do the metal trim. But yeah, this is how I did it. And it's the same process as the front. So yeah, use Gauss blaster to paint the bright areas, glaze with Lupercal in the darker areas, and then you can use Terradon turquoise in the darkest recesses or areas you want to pop. And the thing with NMM, to get it right, I'm still learning, but what I've learned so far is you need to intensify the contrasts, so really dark to really light, to really start seeing the model pop. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents. So now, to really intensify the contrast between light and dark, I'm kind of dry brushing Corax White on the edges and kind of dry brushing over the see, I added a bit too much here, so I just wiped it away. It's kind of a dry brush here, but if you don't want to do dry brush, then just do a normal edge highlights with thin down Corax White. But I like dry brush in here because it adds a bit, like you can add some scratches or highlight it, intensify the brighter areas. Yeah, so you can do what you want. Yeah, I don't need to explain too much here, do I? So just, you can thin down the agrax that I've shaded a little bit, but I just like to put it on nice and thick and then add some water to my brush and then move it around like glazing, I guess. So if you haven't bought this paint already, I recommend you get it. Vallejo Metal Color Gold or Silver or whatever. They're really good paints and highly, like really shiny. So I'm using this paint as a highlight where the sun or the light would be hitting the Runelord Brass armour. And here I'm edge highlighting the areas and semi-glazing. Yeah. A bit of dry brushing because it's drying now, thanks to my air conditioner. Yeah, and then just do what you can until you're happy. I'm pretty happy with that. So for this gold trim, I'm using just pure Vallejo gold, the one I used to edge highlight. I wanted the head to be brighter and have some variety in golds that are on the model. So while the white areas are drying, I painted all of the leather areas with Mournfang brown. Again, I used the air color, the air version, because it just flows really well. So now I give a nice wash, a watered down Basecoating grey. I always have problems saying that word. But yeah, so I go over the face and add a bit of water, and then I stroke upwards, or I stroke towards wherever the crevices are, and then let it dry. If it's pooling, then I just dab my brush gently just to soak up excess paint. Once you're happy with it, then just leave it to dry. So I've misplaced some footage of me edge highlighting the shoulder pads and the face. So what you can do is use Corax White and then just paint over the eyebrows and nose, under the mouth, chin and the edges. Should be fine. Now I'm going to get wild with Wildwood contrast paint. I will paint this directly over all the brown leather areas, and what's good about this is the Mournfang will show through on the edges, so it kind of saves time when it comes to edge highlighting. It's a bit lazy, but hey, it works.